Let me know when you're recording. Okay, so ready? Hey, folks, thanks for being here. I am Dr. Joe Esposito. The way this works, if you're new to the show, the way this works is I do two 24-minute segments. So I'll talk for 24 minutes. You then can listen and share it, of course, with any of your contacts. And then I'm going to do another 24-minute segments. Because of time constraints, I'm not going to have time to take questions today. Usually we take questions at the end of each section. If you have any questions, send them to me through the website, drjoe.com. Or better yet, email me directly, drjoe@drjoe.com. drjoe@drjoe.com. Send me an email directly. It'll be a lot easier than going through the website. So, and then it goes right to me. Otherwise, it goes through the website. It's got to get filtered. So, anyway, that's how it goes. So, I'm glad you're here. Please share it with everyone. If you're listening live, put in hashtag live. If you're listening on a recording, just put in hashtag replay. It's very simple. This way, the bots in the world know who we are and who's listening. So, Garrett, John, ready to go? Here we go. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Thanks for being with me. Hey, listen, what we're going to talk about today, kind of fun things. Everybody wants to live longer, I assume. Everybody wants to be healthy, and everybody says, Dr. Joe, what do I got to do? I know I went to a party the other day, and my friends were coming up to me and saying, Dr. Joe, Joe, and they pulled me aside one by one and had all these questions. I feel like the Godfather, people, having an audience with the Godfather. So what I want to do is I want to teach you the things not to do if you want to live longer and be healthy. So these are things not to do. Usually I tell you what to do. I'm going to tell you what not to do today. So it's kind of fun. Now, we want to live long, happy, healthy lives. You should avoid certain things. And I've said this before, that many of the things that I teach you about being healthy are passive. What does that mean? You don't do it. You don't have to do anything. You have to not do something. So I'm going to teach you what not to do to stay healthy. So everything I'm going to teach you today, well, almost everything, is going to be passive. No action required on your part. You just can't do it. So that's the tricky part right there. So it could be smoking cigarettes, drinking too much alcohol. These things, as you know, can take years off your life if you don't keep them in check. Now, there are more dangers aside from just drinking and smoking. So what I did is I put it all together for you, and we're going to go over some of the things. You're going to be surprised. Some of the advice you've been given by other doctors might actually be wrong. Now, here's the thing with science. Science changes. You have to realize that not everything is static. There might be something I said 40 years ago that doesn't hold true anymore because science has changed. Research has changed. But these are pretty standard. These are things that are timeless, and these are the things you really want to not do. So today's show is passive. You have to not do anything except listen. First thing is, you don't want to eat a poor diet. You want to eat a good diet. A poor diet is one of the worst things that you can do for your health. Now, this drives me insane. I walk through a grocery store, and I just see people that you can tell they're unhealthy. And you look at their cart, and it's funny, I don't even have to look at them. I can look at the cart and know what they look like. And then I can look at somebody's cart and know what they look like, too, because they're healthy and they're vibrant and they're active and they're excited about life. But it's not just in the grocery store. Have you ever been to a hospital? Have you ever been to senior housing? Memory care centers, worse, when the people are starting to lose their minds. And you see what they're feeding these people. My heart breaks. I remember going to a senior housing group not long ago, and it was Fred's birthday. And they had chips, and they had ice cream, and they had soda, and they had diet soda. And I said, oh, who's Fred? Like, I thought Fred was the director or something like that. Oh, no, for every one of our residents, whenever it's a birthday, we have a party. And I thought, what a sad way to wrap up your life. Some of us, I understand assisted living is important, and there are good ones out there. But I look at this, and we're having a party every time it's somebody's birthday, and what are we doing? We're making everybody in the place sick. Potato chips and diet sodas and regular sodas and ice cream and cake. And I understand it's exciting to celebrate, but not that way. How about everybody go out for a field trip and have an apple while they're out? That would be a much better way to do it. But I understand there's financial restraints, and I get all that. But my point is I want you to be healthy so that you don't have to be that part. You can be that person that's vibrant right to the end, and that's our goal. So the easiest thing you can do is not eat a bad diet. Again, you have to not do something. Eating a lot of junk food, processed food, increases your risk of obesity, heart disease, diabetes, cancer. We call it ultra-processed foods now. There's a new term in the business, ultra-processed foods. What is an ultra-processed food? An ultra-processed food is something that has ingredients in it that you wouldn't normally have in the average house. Chemicals, additives, dyes. You wouldn't have that in an average house. So that's an ultra-processed food. And ultra-processed foods are really hard to digest. Usually a lot of the nutrients has been processed out of it, and it's just leading you down a path to sickness. So my rule is this. If it has more than 10 ingredients, you probably shouldn't eat it. Not always, but usually. If you can't pronounce one of the ingredients, you probably shouldn't eat it either, because those are toxic foods. So the rule is, again, can't pronounce it, don't eat it. So other things you shouldn't do. You shouldn't have a sedentary lifestyle. Sedentary lifestyle is another bad habit that causes long-term health issues. Inactivity increases your risk of what? Heart disease, diabetes, cancer. We talked about all that already. You got to stay active. Now, when you say stay active, what does that look like? Now, I played football in my younger days. I played hockey, pickup games of basketball, things like this. I can't do that anymore. Those days are behind me. So you have to stay active that's age appropriate. So one of the things I do, like I can't lay on the ground and do sit-ups. I hate doing sit-ups. It hurts my back because I have a fracture in my low back. So what I do is I'll sit in a chair, sit up straight, and I'll bring my right elbow and my left knee together. And then I'll bring my left elbow and my right knee together. Or you can do this standing if you want to. And I've taught it in the past. It's called cross crawl. But if you do it standing or sitting and you rotate, you're building up your abdominal muscles. You're getting your heart rate up. You're stretching out the muscles in your back, which is great, creating mobility, loosening up your hips. And you're not laying on the ground. Because one of the things I found is I just don't like going to do something when it comes to working out. I don't like going to the gym. I don't mind being at the gym. I don't like going to the gym. So here I am sitting in front of my TV in a chair doing, essentially sitting sit-ups. It's called chair yoga. And then I can do side bends. I could just bend to one side and the other. Do 30, 40, 100 of those. And then I can stand up and I can stretch. I could do like a windmill type thing. So it's essentially old school calisthenics with a little twist on it. And what I do every day, I make sure I do 100 of these crunches and 100 on each side. So I'll stand up and I'll do right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. The other thing that happens when you do this is not only building up your core muscles to support your back, which is really important for back pain, but it integrates your brain. The way the body works is the right side of your brain controls the left side of your body. The left side of the brain controls the right side of the body. So by doing this cross crawl, I'm integrating my brain and I'm helping my brain work better. So it's keeping me young. It's giving me energy. It's actually twisting my digestive system to help the digestive system work more efficiently, building up low back and abdominal muscles. And I'm doing it while I'm watching TV. It's really simple and easy. Now, I like gardening too. I love gardening. And so I love getting outside. I love moving wood chips. I love planting things. I love preparing the soil. So I like getting outside as well. So find different things that you like doing as an activity. Maybe you just like walking. Maybe you live close enough to a grocery store. You could drive. Go for a walk instead. Maybe you have to go to the bank. If you live close enough, walk to the bank. Find different reasons to keep your body active. And I say this, if you work in a business, I know before COVID, a lot of people didn't work from home. But now people working from home, they're becoming more sedentary. Because you're sitting at home and it's easy. You don't have to get dressed. You don't have to shower. And so I want you to set your timer on your clock or on your computer. Every hour, stand up and do 20 of these cross crawls. Right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. Right arm, left leg, left arm, right leg. If you do 20 every hour, you're going to get 100 in a day easily. You're going to feel so much better. You're going to have so much more brain function. It's going to help your balance. How many people when you get older start to lose their balance? Everybody. It's a great way to keep your balance, keep your brain going, your coordination. That prevents the sedentary lifestyle. Make up excuses to get out and move. Because as a chiropractor and a pain management expert, I know the spine is meant for mobility. You're not supposed to have fixations or the bones not moving. And if you're stuck on a couch, it's kind of a fixation. Now, some of you may not be able to get up. I've had people do this in wheelchairs. And they just bring their right arm to the, if they're just paralyzed from the waist down or have trouble walking, same thing. And it really builds up coordination, stimulates the spinal cord. So I want to get you active and I want to get you healthy and I also want to get you out of pain. And these are all things we can do to get out of pain. How many people like to be out of pain? Raise your hands. A lot of you would. And so simply by keeping the body moving, you'll be amazed. So what we're talking about today are things I don't want you to do to stay healthy. I don't want you to sleep in short spurts. I want to try to get you 6 or 8 hours of sleep. Now, I think it was last week we did a whole show on sleep. And I've done shows in the past on sleep. So if you want information, go to my website, drjoe.com, and just type the word sleep in the search bar, and we'll teach you techniques for sleeping. You want to try to get enough sleep each night. One of the biggest problems I find, especially as you get older, is you get up and pee. And that wakes you up, and then you got to try to get back to sleep. So what I do is I stop drinking a lot of fluids around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And I've tried stretching it to 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Doesn't work for me. I have to stop around 2 or 3 o'clock. And I'm thinking, okay, if I stop at 4, I still got 6 hours before I'm going to sleep. Doesn't work for me. I know that's what I have to do. So find out what works best for you. Another thing I want you to stop doing to stay healthy, I want you to stop stressing yourself. I know that's such an easy statement to make. My mind races constantly. And I've done a lot of work trying to calm my brain down. And there's a great technique called tapping. Emotional freedom technique. I can't really show you that on radio. But if you just Google emotional freedom technique, EFT, great technique. It's tapping certain points, trigger points, basically, acupuncture points in your body. You tap your head, under your eyes, on your skull, under your chin, your chest. It takes about 30 seconds to do a session. It's really simple. And it's a great technique. So whenever I'm stressing out, okay, although I'm stressed out about getting my car fixed, whatever it is, I'm very happy with my life, and I choose not to stress out. So I'm telling myself what I want, and I'm tapping it into my brain. And it's amazing how well it works. So you can consider that for stress. But when it comes to stress, there's 3 types of stresses. There's chemical, there's physical, and there's emotional. Now, the chemical stress, you have a lot of control over. It's what you eat. It's your environment. It's the hairsprays, the colognes, the air fresheners, the carpet cleaners that you use. I want you to stop using artificial chemicals. Again, what we're talking about today are things I want you to not do. Stop using artificial scents and chemicals. That's hairspray. That's cologne. That's deodorants, toothpaste. Anything that has an artificial scent in it is not going to be good for you. Essential oils, natural essential oils are fine, but they have to be pure essential oils, not made with essential oils, because that's usually a mixture of chemicals with some essential oil. I want pure essential oils if you have to have a fragrance. Candles, again, you have to make sure they're nothing but essential oils because you want to burn a nice candle. It smells nice. If it's going to be a candle, it's got to be soy or beeswax. I don't want you using paraffin or other chemicals because when it burns, those are toxic chemicals that get into your body. Who would have thought that, right? Candles? I like the smell of candles. It can be affecting your hormones. It can be very dangerous, actually. So stress can lead to increased high blood pressure, heart disease, stroke, depression. So chemical stress is a lot of eating, of course, because that's the thing you do every day. So go to my website, drjoe.com, and type in, "So what can I eat?" And listen to the show we did on what you can eat. Now, I know I said this show is going to be about things you shouldn't do. That one I want you to do. So what can I eat? It's really easy. It's really simple. It's really inexpensive. You will be blown away how much better, healthier, easier, cheaper your life will be simply by changing your diet to easy-to-eat stuff. So much better. And people don't know what it is. And that's why I did that talk called So What Can I Eat? Physical stress, that's where chiropractic comes in. You have 206 bones in the body. Any one of them can come out of place. And if a bone in your neck comes out of place, you might have neck pain, headaches, blurred vision, dizziness, loss of memory, fatigue, ringing of the ear, sinus congestion, because those nerves in the neck control everything from the neck up. Maybe shoulder pain, arm pain, hand pain. When patients come in our offices, it's extremely rare that we can't find a pinched nerve that's correlated to their condition. Whatever it is. High blood pressure, digestion, sexual dysfunction. Check the nerves that go to the organs. It's such a simple, easy concept. And I can't comprehend why people just don't get that. Let's start with the basics. Let's get the nervous system unpinched. Let's get the nerves flowing. It helps with pain in most cases, but it also opens up nerves to organs. And that's going to take the physical stress off your body. So if you have a physical stress, if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, headaches, numbness, tingling, sciatica, come see us. Stop suffering needlessly. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. We can get you an appointment this week. We always have new patient appointments every week for every office. So just go to the website, book an appointment right now. Stop suffering needlessly. The biggest complaint I get is, why didn't I do this sooner? Normally, the first visit in our office, if you just came in off the streets, $940. For my listeners, we've reduced that to $299. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment, going over the x-rays on your follow-up visit, and a complete nutrition evaluation. And if you have insurance, we accept people with all insurance. It depends if your insurance covers it or not. We accept you. I don't base my treatment on whether somebody has insurance or not. A lot of doctors do. We don't do that. We base it on what you need. So we're not going to chase you away if you say, well, I don't have insurance. That's okay. We have cash plans available, payment plans available, interest-free payment plans. Just come in and see us. Stop suffering needlessly. Everybody says it. Dr. Joe, I've been suffering for 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. I wish somebody had told me about this sooner. Or worse, somebody says, Dr. Joe, I've been listening to you for 40 years now. I started lecturing when I was a student. And I've been meaning to come see you, but I haven't. Drives me nuts. Anyway, go to the website, drjoe.com. Book your appointment for you, your friends, your family, and your kids. Do it right now. Okay, don't waste time and don't waste health. Because I've had a lot of people in their older years, in their final years, and they'll say to me, Dr. Joe, I wish I had come see you because my life would have been so much better. So don't regret not coming to see us. Be happy that you did. So I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking today about things I want you to not do to stay healthy. I do want you to make an appointment. That is something I do want you to do. So chemical stress, physical stress, emotional stress. I can't change that. I can't change the fact that you lost a job, lost a loved one, ended a relationship, fighting with your kids. I can't change that. But what I can usually change is the chemical and the physical. I can teach you what to eat, what not to eat, how to build your environment, and then we can work on the nervous system, the digestive system. That makes the emotional stress so much easier. When I've had emotional stresses in my life, we all have, first thing I do is I grab one of my doctors and say, adjust my spine, adjust my stomach, adjust my skull. Make sure my body is as perfectly functioning as possible so I can better deal with the emotions. It always does wonders. Doesn't make the emotional stress go away, but it makes it a whole lot easier to deal with. So if you want to make an appointment, again, drjoe.com. Other things I want you to not do. Don't use drugs. Sound like old politicians there, right? Don't use drugs. Illegal drugs and prescription drugs can have dangerous side effects if they're mislabeled or misused. I see billboards now for fentanyl and how toxic it is. It only takes one hit from a bad batch that can kill you. So don't think it's safe. When we were in high school, people did drugs. I understand that. It wasn't nearly as dangerous as it is now because people weren't trying to kill you. There was paraquat. Paraquat's I think it's a pesticide that's used. And they used that on pot. That was the big fear back then. Now, you take one bad drug and you're dead. So just be careful about that. I want you to consider what you can do to decrease the amount of drugs that you're taking. Now, I'm not saying stop taking drugs, prescription drugs, of course. But what can you do to come off those medications? Most cases, diet can be very helpful. Chiropractic care can be very helpful. Fixing your digestive system can be very helpful. I'm not saying stop taking drugs. I'm saying let's get you well enough so you don't need the drugs. And if that's your goal, our office is very good at that. Now, can't make promises or guarantees, but our goal will be to try to get you off all medications. Every doctor I work with, regardless of their profession, chiropractic, orthopedist, neurologist, neurosurgeon, pain management doctors, gynecologists, dentists, all of them have the same goal. Try to get you off the medication. Because they'll send patients to us all the time and say, Dr. Joe, I had this patient. I wrote a prescription for them, and they found out it's $30,000 a year for this drug, $10,000 a year, $1,000 a month, whatever it is. Doc, this person doesn't have that money. What can we do to try to get them off the medication? So sometimes money's a motivator. I don't care. Like the old Ida Adams song you say, I don't care how you get here, just get here. I don't care how you get to the point where you want to get well. I just want to get you well. So we're talking today about things I want you to not do. Don't expose yourself to toxins. I kind of covered that a little bit, but long-term exposure to toxins can increase your risk of respiratory disease, allergies, cancer. So what can be a toxin? How about paint? How about air fresheners? How about clothes soaps? All these things are toxins, low grade, some of them, but it builds up over time. I used to have a roommate. Her name was Kay. And she was wonderful, and she'd do my laundry for me. If I left laundry by the laundry room, laundromat, by the laundry room anyway, she'd wash it, dry it, and fold it for me. It was wonderful. And right around the time that Kay and I were roommates, because we lived on 2 different floors of the house, so we never really saw each other, I'd start itching. I'd itch like crazy everywhere. My shirt, my underwear area, my socks. I was itching like crazy. Couldn't figure out what it was. So one day I went down and I took the clothes out of the dryer, and she had put dryer sheets in there. And the dryer sheets don't really soften your clothes. They just kind of put a layer of oil on them. And the dryer sheets were causing a reaction in my body. Stopped using dryer sheets, itching went away immediately. So many of your health problems may be self-induced by something as simple as a dryer sheet, as an air freshener. So just be careful with these toxins, because long-term exposure is when we have problems. I remember I used to be a truck driver up in New York, and you have to go through the toll booths. You ever been to New York, New Jersey? A lot of toll booths. And I always thought these poor people that worked in the toll booths, they're inhaling all this carbon monoxide all day, every day. And sure enough, years later, studies came out that people who worked in toll booths had higher risk of health problems. So just be careful of the chemicals you're using, exposing to yourself. Another thing I don't want you to do, I don't want you to avoid going to your chiropractor, because it's important to see your chiropractor to check the nervous system, check the digestive system, and check your diet. Now, not all chiropractors are experts in digestion and diet. I get that. But you want to make sure the nervous system is working properly, because if you have a pinched nerve, 10% of the time it hurts. 90% of the time it doesn't hurt. So you can have pinched nerves and not know it. So that's why our team of doctors are trained to check the nerves that feel pain, but also we check the nerves that don't feel pain, because we want to get you well and keep you well without drugs and surgery. So if you've been meaning to schedule a new appointment with your chiropractor or with us, or you've been before and you've just been lazy, you fell out of treatment, I've been meaning to go, I forgot, I know I was supposed to be there, I said I'd go for so many visits and I didn't, life got in the way, make the appointment now. Because we started this little segment talking about mobility, keeping the body in motion. Well, you want to keep the joints in motion as well. And chiropractic adjustments allow mobility to be restored to the joints. And when the joints move better, they're less likely to wear out, they're less likely to pinch nerves. There's really not much of a downside to getting adjusted. A lot of upside, very little downside. So you want to get your spine checked even if you don't have pain. Because again, 90% of the time, there is no pain. And in our offices, we check the digestive system, we check the spine, all the joints in the body, not just the spine, and we do nutrition workup on all our patients. So if people say, well, Dr. Joe, I don't know what to do when it comes to nutrition. Go to my website, drjoe.com, type in, so what can I eat? The minimum supplements you should be taking would be Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. There's 2 powders. They taste great. I mix them together. And you can mix it with coconut milk, almond milk. I love mixing it with frozen half a banana and put it in a little, I got a magic bullet, whip it up. I look so forward to laying in bed in the morning going, oh, I can't wait till my Super Greens and Essential Source, because it gives me the minimum nutrients that I need to start my day. So please, if you're not willing to do anything else, at least Super Greens and Essential Source. Best thing to do is get on a subscription, because if you're like many people, you run out, oh, I got to get more, I forgot, and then it's gone. You can cancel a subscription at any time. There's no lock-in or anything like that, but just get it delivered, and then you know you're going to use it. And make sure you use it every day. If you realize, oh, my subscription's coming, I haven't used it, you've been negligent, start taking it. And all that's available on the website, drjoe.com. There's other supplements, too. I take omega-3 fatty acids, I take B-complex, I take men's hormone support, I take adrenal support. So there's a bunch that I take because I've done a customized plan for myself. We'd love the opportunity to do a customized plan for you, too. So if you're interested in getting well, drjoe.com, book an appointment to come see us. If you can't make it to come see us, we can do telehealth. We can do it a Zoom call or a Skype call. We're happy to do that for you. So make that decision that you want to get well and then take the action step. So what we're talking about today are things I want you to not do when it comes to being healthy. But what I do want you to do is follow us on social media at Dr. Joe Esposito, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We post every single day. You're going to get so much information about restaurants and how to eat and what to wear and cologne and perfume and health tips. And so at Dr. Joe Esposito. And if you're a podcast junkie, Just go to your podcast service and type in Dr. Joe for the health of it. Dr. Joe for the health of it. If you have any health questions, make the appointment, of course. You could send it to me through the website, drjoe.com. Again, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, drjoe.com. All right, segment 1 done. Hey, listen, folks, I'm really sorry. We don't have time for questions today. We're going to go right into section 2. If you have any questions, you could email me directly, drjoe@drjoe.com, drjoe@drjoe.com. Take a sip of tea, and we'll get rocking on part 2. All right. All right, let's see. Ready for part 2? Ready, John? Garrett, you ready? All right. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Thanks for being with us. I appreciate that. What we're talking about today are things I want you to not do to get healthy. So many times you hear, I got to work out, I got to eat right, I got to do this, I got to do this. I'm telling you what not to do, mostly. I got a few things I want you to do, too. But mostly, this is a totally passive show. You have to not do things to get healthy. How cool is that? I can't make it easier than having you not do it, can I? These are things I want you to not do. And we talked earlier about not making appointments for your chiropractor. Okay, I don't want you to do that. I want you to make appointments for your chiropractor because we check the nervous system, digestive system, and your diet. However, that goes for all doctors. How about your dentist? Make sure you get your teeth checked. Get your spine checked. If you have a health issue, go see the proper, appropriate healthcare provider. Get your eyes checked. I know I was driving the other day and things were blurry, and I said, something's not right here. Went to the eye doctor. Sure enough, my vision, my glasses had changed. So I had to get a new prescription. So, yeah, don't ignore those things. This is life, and it's very short. And, you know, and the older I get, it seems like the days go faster and faster. I don't know if you have this too, but sometimes I wake up and I'm going back to bed, and I'm like, didn't I just leave here? What happened during the day? A lot happened. But we're so overwhelmed with input, with social media, with telephones, with TV, radio, podcasts. There's so much information coming into our bodies that time seems to go quicker. I can't remember the last time, I remember being a kid sitting on the stoop and saying, man, I'm bored, I got nothing to do. Can't remember that happening in my adult life. So life is going quickly, and you want to enjoy it and live as long as you can. That's my goal. I want to live as long and happy and healthy as I can. And you do that by doing certain things and by not doing certain things. Of course, smoking, I hope you don't smoke. It's no secret that smoking is bad for you. Not only does it increase your risk of lung cancer, respiratory disease, it contributes to other medical conditions, heart disease, diabetes, cancer. Smoking is tough. So if you don't know how to quit anything, whether it's food or drugs or cigarettes, go to my website, drjoe.com, and type the word addiction in the search bar. We did a really good show on addiction a while ago, and I talk about the neurophysiology of addiction. What does that mean? The brain, neuro is nerves, and physiology is how things work. It's how the brain and the nervous system works and why it malfunctions when there's an addiction, and then what to do about it. Even better. So it's really a great show, and it's a great way to do it. You want to build up the nutrient levels in your body when there's an addiction. Because when there's an addiction, the body needs an outside stimulus. It's not getting everything it needs internally, so it reaches for an outside stimulus, whether it's drugs or cigarettes or gambling or sex or whatever it is. Exercise. I've had people already addicted to exercise. And I find it more so, well, men and women, but I find it oftentimes with women, they love looking young and they love looking pretty because they worked out and they looked great and everybody complimented them, and then they overdo it. When you exercise, you create something called free radicals. Free radicals are like Pac-Man. They eat through things. Waka, waka, waka. And so when you're exercising, you're producing these free radicals that are literally eating away at your connective tissue. I remember a gal I knew years ago, and she would run 20 miles a day. She'd run a marathon just for fun and then go do yoga. And she looked great. And then years later, I ran into her, not many years later, maybe 8-10 years later, and I couldn't recognize her. She looked like a wrinkled up old tea bag. She had overworked her body so much that the free radicals had caused her to age dramatically. And so just be careful. And also, you know, as you get older, we talked about that earlier, you can't do the same exercise as you did when you were younger. There comes a time where you have to say, yeah, it's time for me to change. And that's okay. Nothing wrong with that at all. there's exercise at different levels of your life. So it's okay to say, I can't do what I used to do. Nothing wrong with that, but I am going to do something. So addiction is tough. And so when I give the body all the nutrients that it needs, at least minimum supplements would be Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source, which are on the website, drjoe.com. Minimum supplements every day. And then I like to customize a plan for each one of our patients to make sure you're getting all the nutrients that you need. As I get older, my nitric oxide levels are plummeting. I take nitric oxide every day to increase circulation, give me energy, help my brain function better. I take omega-3 fatty acids, essential fatty acids, necessary to get from an outside source. So I take essential fatty acids every day. I take B-complex. I take estrogen regulator. Estrogen regulator helps prevent my testosterone from converting into estrogen, because as I get older, my testosterone levels drop. So you can go to the website, look at the supplements. If you have any questions, send me questions through the website, drjoe.com. But let's put together a healthcare plan. Not an insurance plan, a healthcare plan. Many of you have insurance. Very few of you have a healthcare plan. What am I doing to get well? Make the nervous system properly function. Get the digestive system working. Get my diet straightened out. Take the supplements that I need. There's protocols that can be set up very easily and very inexpensively to help get you well and keep you well. So anyway, the website again, drjoe.com. So we talked about smoking too much and also drinking too much. I remember a gal years ago saying, moderation is for monks. Love that line. Moderation is for monks. I don't want moderate health. I want extreme health. And that's why the second book that I wrote is called Prescription for Extreme Health. Exactly that. I just love that phrase so much, I named a book after it. So Prescription for Extreme Health is a book that I wrote that actually lays out a whole healthcare plan. So that's on my website, drjoe.com also. But I don't drink. Last time I had a drink, I was 28 years old. I was on vacation. I had a glass of champagne. It felt like junk. And I thought, why am I doing this to myself? Why would I not want to be at the top of my game at all times? And I don't understand it. I don't know if you've noticed it, but I smell pot everywhere I go lately. In fact, I went to Las Vegas a while ago. My God, it was everywhere. And I thought, why would you not want to be on top of your game? Well, I feel good. I feel relaxed. I feel relaxed and good when I'm healthy, when I'm focused. Now, I understand some of you saying, well, Dr. Joe, I can't ever give up drinking. I understand that, but here's my rule on drinking. For every drink that you have to have 3 glasses of water. Pretty simple. I want to flush the alcohol out of your system. I want to prevent the alcohol from getting into the brain and causing brain damage. And you're going to pee a lot, so you're going to drink less. So 3 glasses of water for every drink that you have. Better yet, don't drink at all. Another thing I want you to be careful with, I'm talking about things I want you to not do. I want to make sure you don't stay in the sun too long. I want you to get out of the sun. But what does that look like? I know I need sun. So my rule is this. Get out in the sun. As soon as you feel your skin to be a little warm or start to turn a little pink, if you can see the color change, stop. It's usually about 15 or 20 minutes. Stop. Cover up. Wear a big floppy hat. Wear big floppy shirts with long sleeve. Big floppy pants like scrub pants or surgical pants. And if you're going to use a sunscreen, which, by the way, you should, it should be titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. Titanium dioxide or zinc oxide. It creates a white film on your skin. That's a safe sunscreen. Never use spray-on sunscreen. Ever. The propellant alone is toxic, and you're inhaling that. But you want to create a white film, a physical barrier to protect yourself from the sun. If it's the type that dissolves right away, that's not good because it doesn't create the barrier. And there's so many toxic chemicals, parabens and other chemicals in sunscreens that are actually carcinogenic. Now, isn't that an ironic twist? You're putting on sunscreen to prevent cancer, but you're putting on a sunscreen that can actually cause cancer. You may not get skin cancer, but you can get other types of cancer. Or it can actually increase your risk of skin cancer, some of them. So titanium dioxide or zinc oxide are the only ones I would recommend using. Safest thing to do is get out of the sun. Now, if I'm going swimming, I want to be in the water for more than 15 minutes, then I'll put on my sunscreens. But if I'm on the beach or something like that, I always have an umbrella. I'm always covered up. If I'm walking down the beach, big floppy hat, baggy shirt, baggy pants, I want to cover up and protect myself from the sun, not expose myself to the sun. You need sun. It creates vitamin D. It's good for you. It stimulates the pineal gland. I mean, there's so many good things about sunlight if it's done right. So be careful with the sun. Another thing I want you to not do is I'm going to say skip meals, but I want to preface that. If you're not eating enough, and I've had this happen to people I know, that I want to lose weight, so I'm not going to eat. Well, they'll lose weight, and then they're afraid to gain weight, so they don't eat, and then they go into malnutrition. So I don't want you skipping good foods. So when you eat, I want you to eat good quality foods. I don't want you living on, alcohol and caffeine, because you're not getting nutrients that you need. So make sure you're eating fruits, vegetables, nuts, and seeds every day. Make sure you're taking at least Dr. Joe's Super Greens and Dr. Joe's Essential Source. And what I find when I take Super Greens and Essential Source, especially if I add a half a banana or a frozen banana in there, I'm full for hours afterwards. That's my breakfast. It goes well into lunch. I don't even need a snack. And so that's a nice thing to do is you're getting nutrients and you're eating less food. If I eat an avocado, I'm full for hours after eating an avocado. So I can eat, cheesecake, which I don't do. But I can eat cheesecake or grilled cheese sandwich or a steak, and I'll feel full for hours. I can eat avocado and feel full for hours. Well, have the avocado instead, because avocados have good fats in them, nutrients that your body needs to be healthy. And they're a great source of fiber, great source of potassium, great source of iron. So pretty much anything green or red is going to give you iron. Now, be careful. Plant-based iron is okay, but animal-based iron is dangerous. So I know I said I was going to tell you what not to do. I'm going to tell you what to do. I want you to donate blood as often as you can. Men and postmenopausal women should donate blood as often as they can, because too much iron built up in the body is actually worse than not enough. And if you're a man or a postmenopausal woman and you're low in iron, you might actually be low in copper. Copper, simply put, frees the iron up that's in the cells and puts it in the blood. It's a real simple explanation. But you might be low in copper and not iron, because it's very rare for a man who's eating a normal diet and a postmenopausal woman to be iron deficient. If you're childbearing years, you lose iron every month, and that's okay. You may be iron deficient, but too much iron is worse than not enough. So the only way to get rid of it, we have no way to process iron out of our body except to donate blood. Well, you could bleed, but I don't want you doing that. So if you can donate blood, I strongly recommend it. And they're going to test your iron. They're going to test for social diseases. I had a friend of mine, she was a nurse years ago, and if she was interested in dating a fella, she would always ask him if he donated blood. Because if you have certain diseases, they won't take your blood. And that's a kind of a subtle way of asking, did you get checked? Make sure you get checked. So skipping meals, if you're going to skip meals, only skip bad meals. Don't skip good meals. Make sure you get the nutrients that you need. Another thing I want you to not do, hold a grudge. Holding on to anger and resentment can negatively affect your physical and your mental health. One of the hardest things you'll ever do in your life is forgive someone who did you wrong. I got to get revenge. They have to suffer. I can't allow this to happen. There's principle involved. Anybody ever use those phrases? We all have. And when we do, we're hurting ourselves. Somebody told me years ago, the best revenge is living well. And it really is. Best revenge is living well. And it hurts people, especially if in a relationship, when they see the other person living well. And they went, ooh, maybe I made a mistake. Good. You did. That's the way I look at it. But try to get rid of those things. And we talked about emotional freedom technique earlier, EFT. Just you can go to Google and Google EFT or tapping. It's called tapping technique as well. And you could use these techniques to free yourself of emotional issues. And it could be a bad emotional issue, a bad breakup, somebody stole from you, somebody wronged you. But it could also be a sad emotional thing, like passing of a loved one. If your parents have died, if your family members have died. Those are emotional stresses. And they can be very devastating on your health. And so doing things like emotional freedom technique, eating properly, making sure the nervous system is working properly, fixing the digestive system, it allows your body to heal. You can't change the fact in many cases that somebody wronged you, but you can change the fact that it's not you're not hurting them. If you're suffering, you're hurting yourself. What's the old phrase? You drink poison, expect the other person to get sick. It doesn't work that way. So holding a grudge, having emotional anger is really an important issue, and there's always counseling available as well, and I'm a huge advocate of counseling. I always said the things they don't teach us in school: how to make a living, how to have a family, how to make money, and how to forgive. And I wish those would be core subjects that we teach children in school, because those are the things we all have to do in our lives. And you can forgive yourself too, by the way. You know what, Dr. Joe, I have heart disease, I have cancer, I have diabetes, I have pitting edema, I have all these health issues. I'm angry at myself. Why did I let myself do this? You can forgive yourself and now take positive steps to get well. And if you want to take a positive step to get well, make an appointment to come see us. In the Atlanta area, we have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb. We would love to be your doctors. So if you have health issues, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. You can book it right online or call us. Normally, the first visit, if you walked in off the streets, $940. We've reduced that to $299 for our listeners. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first chiropractic adjustment, going over the x-rays on your follow-up visit, complete nutrition evaluation. We really take care of our patients. So if you want to make an appointment, drjoe.com. After that, if you have insurance, we accept people with all insurances. It depends if your insurance covers. It may not cover our services, but we accept them. We don't say, no, we don't accept you because you have a certain insurance. We have plans available, cash plans, payment plans. There's no reason to not make an appointment. Chiropractic is the most effective, least expensive treatment for back pain. But in our office, we do back pain, we do brain issues, we do digestive issues, we do circulatory issues, nutrition. Just make an appointment. I don't want to sell you on it. Just make an appointment. And you'll be like most patients, very happy that you did. So drjoe.com, we'd love to have you make an appointment. You can do it this week. We have appointments available in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb, the Atlanta area. On all our offices, we have appointments every week available for new patients. So drjoe.com. So we're talking today about things I want you to not do. I don't want you to keep to yourself. Isolation can be very harmful. And with COVID being over now, we saw this, and it became a really serious issue. Studies have shown people who are socially isolated tend to die sooner than those who have strong social connections. And so one of the things it did, it separated families, it separated loved ones, it separated siblings, it separated spouses, and it isolated all of us. And that isolation was very unhealthy for our immune systems. So I'm not making a political statement here. I'm saying try to socialize, connect with family, friends, community members. You're probably going to live happier and probably live longer. Also, not every relationship will do. Pick and choose the people you spend time with. This is one of the things that age will teach all of us. You've made bad decisions in your life. Not necessarily romantic, but friends. I remember my mother didn't want me hanging out with this guy Kevin in high school. He's bad news. He's bad news. She was right. His life went a different path than mine, and it wasn't good. My life became great. But had I hung out and continued on the path I was on, it wouldn't have gone well. So pick and choose the people you hang out with. You're going to be very happy with your choice because you can say, this isn't good for me. And that includes family members. Just because you're related to them doesn't mean you have to like them. There are family members I've had in my life that I wouldn't choose as a friend. And as time went on, I realized that, you know what, I don't have to be friends with this person. And I wasn't. I let it go. So family, you can have blood family, you can have, social family. And that's where I want you to consider who's going to be best to hang out with. And that can go for job toxicity, relationship toxicity, friendship toxicity. I know I've reconnected over the years with people, and I realize we've grown apart. We're really not the same people we were 30 years ago when we were friends. It's okay to do that. That's okay. Other things I want you to not do. Don't overeat. It takes 20 minutes to get the message from your stomach to your brain. So what I want you to do is have a snack. Avocados are one of my favorites, or a couple of handfuls of nuts, like 2 handfuls of nuts. Wait 20 minutes and see if you're still hungry. The chances are you're going to eat a whole lot less food if you satisfy the hunger. It takes 20 minutes to get the message from your stomach to your brain. So have a snack first and notice how much less food you eat. Mom was wrong on this. Mom said, don't snack, you'll ruin your appetite. I want you to ruin your appetite. I don't want you to ignore mental issues. Mental issues, anxiety, depression can be very serious. If you realize you have anxiety and depression, it's something I want you to seek professional help for. You can come see us with really any health issue. And if it's not within our wheelhouse, it's not our scope of practice, we can direct you to other professionals that we work with. that we feel would be a good connection for you. Maybe it's an orthopedist. Maybe it's a neurologist. Maybe it's a psychiatrist. Maybe it's a psychologist. Maybe it's a dentist. We can help you with that. I even recommend certain cancer centers that I feel better than others. So, yeah, we want to be your source. We want to be your go-to clinic. When you come in and say, I got this problem, where do I go? We can help direct you to places that I know, that I trust, and if it's a service that I need, that I use. Because I wouldn't refer you to some place that I wouldn't use personally. That's a good way to go. My mother always said, go to your doctor's doctor. You know they're good because your doctor wouldn't go to a bad doctor. And I said, good advice, Mom. Mom was brilliant. All right. Other things I want you to not do. Take too many pain pills. Pain pills can be addicting. Pain pills can kill you. Try to get to the cause of your pain, not just treat the symptoms. And again, that's why chiropractic care, most effective, least expensive treatment for back pain. I cannot, for the life of me, fathom why people wouldn't go to a chiropractor first when it comes to pain. When it comes to pain, you need to go to your chiropractor first. That's really, really important. So we're good at pain. We can direct you to go from there. So taking too many pain pills covers up the symptoms, which is okay, but you always want to get to the cause and try to reduce your amount of medications that you take at whatever we can do to do that. And my team of doctors is pretty good at that. Other things that can shorten your life. Staying single kind of fits into keeping to yourself. Having a life partner can bring joy and stability. Having the wrong life partner can make life hell. So make sure you choose wisely. And if you want to find somebody who's willing to work with you, who's willing to say, yes, let's work on this issue together, whether it's picking a color of a paint of a room, whether it's planting a garden, or whether it's a relationship. Because if somebody isn't willing to work, it's not going to work. You know, a friend of mine who was a divorce attorney gave me great advice one time. He said, when it comes to divorce, only one person gets a vote. Interesting point. If one person says they want a divorce, the other person has nothing they can do. You can't, negotiate that. So look for people that are willing to work with you. And don't work too hard. There can be mental and physical exhaustion that can wipe out your health, and that can be real dangerous as well. So that's why I want to keep you as healthy as possible. That's why so many people go to the chiropractors. Come to us for nutrition. Come to us for digestive work because they're exhausted. And once we tune up the body, it's like tuning up the car. It runs more efficiently. Patients tell me all the time, Dr. Joe, I can't afford not to come see you guys because you allow me to work, you allow me to play, you allow me to be a father, a mother, a sister, a brother, a wife, a husband, and you give me my life back. And I can't thank you enough for what you've done for me and my family. And health is great. If you've never been healthy, you want to find out what it's like, you might want to come see us. Can't guarantee we can get you there, but we usually can. Another thing I don't want you to do is I don't want you to get dehydrated because many of us don't drink enough fluids. And you think, because when you're young, there's a part of your brain that controls hunger, a part of the brain that controls thirst. As you get older, those two parts of the brain grow together. It's called the hypothalamus. It's part of the brain called the hypothalamus. And you have a real tough time distinguishing between hunger and thirst. So many times when you're hungry, you're thirsty. So a real simple rule that you can do is have a big glass of water before every meal. And you're going to eat so much less food. You're going to feel so much better. You're going to have so much more energy. Now, I said this earlier, I have to stop drinking around 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon or else I wake up and pee. And then I don't get a good night's sleep, which is one of the things that we talked about earlier. So find when you can drink the water, but make sure you're drinking water. You could drink herbal teas if you want to, too. But coffee, tea, sodas, alcohol, they don't count as water. Scotch and water is not water. Okay, that doesn't count. Other things, this is an interesting study. Daily aspirin linked to pancreatic cancer. Study of 88,000 nurses found that those who took 2 or more aspirins a week for 20 years had a more than 58% higher risk of pancreatic cancer. Women who took 2 or more aspirin per day had an alarming 86% greater risk of pancreatic cancer. So I don't want you to take medication, that was just one of them, if you don't need it. Sometimes you do, but always try to find a way to not take the medication. Get the nervous system working, get the digestive system working, get your diet straightened out, and then hopefully get you well enough so you don't need the medication. Folks, I'm almost out of time. Follow us on social media at Dr. Joe Esposito. We post health tips every single day. It's absolutely free. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. My website, again, drjoe.com. And if you're a podcast junkie, go to your podcast service and type in Dr. Joe for the health of it. Dr. Joe for the health of it. Again, the website, drjoe.com. All right. Thanks, guys. I do appreciate it. Again, no time for questions today. If you have any questions, send them to me directly, drjoe@drjoe.com. See you next week.